good evening and welcome to Thursday Night Hymn Sing here at the Dorset Church. If my phone messes up like it did last week, please visit the Dorset Church website, and my wife's phone is broadcasting from that one and is a little bit more reliable. Hopefully it will keep going the whole time. It looks like mine is freezing up right at the moment, so perhaps not. So our first hymn for tonight is People Look East. We're doing hymns from France this week, and it turns out that a lot of French hymns are kind of Christmas related. This one is this is actually an Advent hymn. So if you want to have Christmas in July, what better way to get started than by singing an Advent hymn? People Look East. Traditional French carol called Besançon or something like that. I'm apologizing in advance for my French, which is not the best. This next one is also a Christmas carol. He is born the Holy Child, or Il est né. And I will sing a little bit of this in French. There's not much French that I know, but what I do know is worth singing. So here it goes. Let's try to get this a little bit closer.
Jesus, Lord of
this next hymn, "'Twas in the Moon of Wintertime," is actually a French-Canadian melody, but since we're singing songs from places where we can't go to because of COVID, and America is not allowed to go and spread it anywhere, we're not allowed to spread it to Canada either, so why not sing something from France or from Canada as well? "'Twas in the moon of wintertime, when all the birds had fled, that mighty Gitche Manitou sent angel choirs instead. Before their light the stars grew dim, and wandering hunters heard the hymn. Peace on earth, Christ is born, Jesus is born, in excelsis Gloria. Within a lodge of broken bark the tender babe was found. A ragged robe of rabbit skin enwrapped his beauty round. But as the hunter braves drew nigh, the angel's song rang loud and high. Jesus your King is born, Jesus is born, in excelsis Gloria. The earliest moon of winter-time is not so round and fair, as was the ring of glory on the helpless infant there. The chiefs from far before him knelt, with gifts of fox and beaver pelt. Peace on earth, Christ is born, Jesus is born, in excelsis Gloria. O children of the forest free, the angel's song is true. The holy child of earth and heaven is born today for you. Come kneel before the radiant boy, who brings you beauty, peace, and joy. Peace on earth, Christ is born, Jesus is born, in excelsis Gloria. Okay, so next I'm going to move over to my dulcimer. Adjust the cameras a little bit here. In this next tune, there's a spirit in the air. By the time you get to the end of it, you'll probably say, I know that tune from somewhere else. I'll let you know where that comes from. There's a spirit in the air, telling Christians sake. Give tomorrow's life today. So if that tune sounded a little bit familiar, it's also the Friendly Beasts. Jesus, our brother, kind and good, was humbly born in a stable roof, and the friendly beasts around him stood. Jesus, our brother, kind and good. So it's just a nice recycled French melody there. This next one is also a recycled French melody known as Au clair de la lune. Jesus' hands were kind hands, doing good to all, healing pain and sickness, blessing children small, washing tired feet and saving those who fall. Jesus' hands were kind hands, doing good to all. Take my hands, Lord Jesus, let them work for you. Make them strong and gentle, kind in all I do. Let me watch you, Jesus, till I'm gentle too. Till my hands are kind hands, quick to work for you. So Jesus' hands are kind hands. I'm going to walk over to the piano and do another piece by Claude Debussy. That the prelude that I opened with was by Debussy. And this is also from the same suite of music that he wrote when his youngest child was between the ages of 2 and 5. I cannot imagine doing anything when your youngest child is between the age of 2 and 5, and yet he wrote this whole body of work. It's pretty impressive. So this is called Gollywog's Cakewalk. What does that have to do with church? Well, some churches, like in the summertime, like to do fun outdoor activities, and one that I remember from the Appenzell Church in Appenzell, Pennsylvania, was a cakewalk. And in the form that it took then, the cakewalk has got a long history, and some of it has to do with slaves imitating the courtly manners of their owners on the plantations. But the form that I remember it from the Appenzell picnic was that it was kind of a cake giveaway sort of dance, and people would kind of make a circle around this. A bunch of cakes in the center, and when the music stopped, then if you were standing in the right place, it was sort of like being on the roulette wheel, and you won the cake that was being given away at that point. So I played in a German polka band at the Appenzell picnic for many years, and so the polka band would have a piece of music to play, and we'd start, and the conductor would say, okay, well, when we get to letter A or measure 25 or whatever, we're just going to stop, and that's going to be, and then somebody will win a cake, and then we'll start again in the next phrase, and we'll play to the next phrase. So one year, the daughter of the clarinet player in the Jolly Rhinelanders was about maybe 10 years old, and she was savvy enough to figure out that the band was ending at certain phrases, and she could tell by looking at her dad, who was cutting off the rest of the band, that it was about to be cutoff time, and so she positioned herself to be right at the right spot on the roulette wheel. So at the tender age of 10, she learned how to scam a cakewalk, and it has served her well in life. She's now a music teacher, I believe. So that was Gollywog's Cakewalk, Claude Debussy. I'm going to walk us back over to the organ. Cakewalk also being a phrase that means kind of like a walk in the park. It's really kind of easy. That piece was not easy, but fun to play. So this next one, O Sons and Daughters Sing Your Praise, is a 15th century French carol, and I have set up the organ to play it, and I'll be playing the trumpet on some of the verses, so hopefully I won't blast you out too much. And it does say repeat for the 7th verse, repeat the first, but I don't believe I go that far. I think I just go 6 verses. So I'll sing some with you and play as well. Okay, so the next hymn is Humbly I Adore Thee, a French church melody. This is sort of a plain song chant. Having a little trouble with the second setting of this, so I'm going to try to launch the Facebook Live on my home page as well while we're waiting here. Okay, we'll give that another try. Oh, it says my internet connection is no good. face to face thy splendor I at last shall see. In the glorious vision, blessed Lord of thee. All right, our next hymn, Now the Green Blade Rises, is actually a Christmas hymn, but it also has a different set of words for Easter. So we're having both Christmas and Easter and Lent, just sort of throwing them all in there, because that's the kind of tunes that France is good for. So Now the Green Blade Rises. Oh, and this one I have to put a capo on my dulcimer. Dulcimer only plays in the key of D, but if you put a capo on it, you can play in the key of E minor. Now the green blade rises from the buried grain. Wheat that in dark earth many days has lain. Love lives again, that with the dead has been. Love is come again, like wheat arising green. In the grave they laid the love by hatred slain, thinking that Jesus would not wake again. Laid in the earth like grain that sleeps unseen. Love is come again like wheat arising green. Christ came forth at Easter like the risen grain, who that for 3 days in the grave had lain. Raised from the dead, the risen Christ is seen. Love is come again like wheat arising green. When our hearts are wintry, grieving or in pain, your touch can call us back to life again. Fields of our hearts that dead and bare have been, love is come again like wheat arising green. So that's Now the Green Blade Rises. Final hymn for tonight, Let All Mortal Flesh Keep Silence. It's a French carol from the 17th century. And the tune name here is called Picardy. And some people that have studied music, and the Picardy is actually a region of France. And it was known for taking a tune that ends in a minor key and ending it in a major key, and it has kind of an interesting sound. So you're going. So ending in a major key, and some people say that's a little bit not going to end this, because I want to play a postlude based on the same tune that really ends in a major key and really makes it worth the wait. I'm going to sing Let All Mortal Flesh Keep Silence just the way it is. And here we go. Let all mortal flesh keep silence, and fear and trembling stand. Ponder nothing being earthly minded, for with blessing in his hand, God to descendeth, our full homage to demand. Truly God, yet born of Mary, as of old on earth, Word of God in human birth, in the body and the blood, Christ will give to all the faithful himself for heavenly food. Rank the host of spreads its vanguard on the way, as the light of light descendeth from the Lamb of endless day, that the powers of hell may vanish, as the shadows clear away. At his wings, six-winged seraph, cherubim with sleepless eye, veil their faces to the as with ceaseless voice cry, Alleluia, Alleluia, God Most High. So I know if you have the program for this from the church website, it says that I'm going to end with a French piece called Jesus des Trompettes. If you really want to hear that, then listen to the morning. It's going to be on that video. But I'm really in the mood to play this Toccata on Picardy by Gordon Young.